Deck learned their lesson. It's time for semifinal number 1. Marshall and Paul, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Mira. Welcome back to the booth here for our first semifinal match. There's only one not lessons deck left, and it is here in the hands of Shaun Henry. Teamer Otters is kind of the last hope against the lessons that have, well, they've been teaching some lessons, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think kind of coming into this top 8, a lot of people's hopes, if you didn't want to see a lessons deck, was probably relying on Ken Yukuhiro's Sultai Reanimator deck, because I do think, as the casters mentioned, I do think Is It Lessons is pretty significantly favored in this matchup. It just has access to so much instant speed interaction, and very importantly, access to Combustion Technique, which is a really, really strong card to break up all the mana that you can generate off of something like an Enduring Vitality.
Take a look at Shaun Henry as he takes a seat from Australia, and on the other side, Akira Shibata from Japan. This is the World Championship, so you have to do something pretty special just to make it into the field at all. But if there is an underdog in our top 8, it's going to be Akira Shibata, qualified via Regional Championship. And we asked him, what his goals were for the season. And, as an example, we asked Shaun, and Shaun said, win a Pro Tour or Worlds. So it's like, let's go big.
Hey.
I've got goals. When we asked Akira, he said, I'd like to reach day 2 in Atlanta at the PT there.
Yep.
Like day 2, the PT was the season goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you don't have a lot of experience playing a bunch of Pro Tours, that's kind of what you're hoping for. Or you're trying to
That's where I would be.
Yeah, or trying to chain some qualifications together. But now, I mean, Akira Shibata not only dispatching of Sam Party in the mirror, also defeated Gabriel Nassif in the Swiss in the exact mirror as well. So he's got to be feeling excellent. He knows this matchup is likely pretty good for him. Of course, you still have to play the match. And then in the finals, he's going to play against another Is It Lessons mirror. And so far, he's done a really, really great job against that matchup.
Yeah, Akira exceeding all expectations already just by being in the semifinal here at the World Championship. Why not take it another step further?
Why not go all the way? It would be an absolutely incredible story here to go from trying to make day 2 of a Pro Tour to winning the World Championship.
That is a huge difference. You see Enduring Vitality hit the battlefield here for Shaun after casting the Storm Chaser's talent. That's a card that Akira also has on the battlefield, but you see the Artist talent as well.
Yeah, but this is a nice turn here for Akira. Combustion Technique. Yep, definitely discarding a lesson because, of course, it only deals 2 damage. But now by discarding the Abandoned Attachments, you now get the lesson in the graveyard to deal 3 damage to the Vitality here.
And that is an exile effect.
It is an exile effect, which is extremely important, and which is one of the main reasons why this matchup is so tough. Oftentimes, Enduring Vitality, you can kind of lean on it as, look, if you kill it, I don't even care. Like, I'm going to make some creatures and it'll be fine. But this is a creature that is, a permanent that is problematic to deal with. Ral Crackling Wit, one of the better cards in this matchup because Akira's deck relies on a lot of removal. None of the removal targets Planeswalkers. They all do damage to creatures only. You know how sometimes you have burn spells that deal damage to creatures or Planeswalkers?
Very commonly.
Yeah, the lessons package here all target creatures here instead. So one of the only ways to get it off the battlefield is either attack it down, which the Is It Lessons deck isn't particularly good at doing, or trying to slow it down by bouncing it with Boomerang Basics.
You see a pair of Firebending lessons and a pair of Combustion Techniques in hand here for Akira. Oh, we got some mood lighting happening here in the feature match.
Getting a little red and more red. Matching Shaun Henry's hair right there, maybe?
Yeah. And we're back to business.
All right.
And it looks like Akira is going to start just picking off Otters here.
Yeah, just try to keep the board clear here. And look, targeting the Storm Chaser's talent here, building up the Otter. If you can get it big enough, I mean, can he? I don't think he can cast enough spells to get it to a 5/5 here. He's only cast 2 spells so far. So 3/3. 4/4. Now, if the last card is land removal spell, does he have?
Oh.
He does. River Pyre Verge plus Firebending Lesson on the token turns the Otter into a 5/5, allowing him to actually get that Ral off the battlefield.
Wow, Shaun Henry can just simply nod his head because that Ral is going down.
He cast 4 spells this turn with 4 lands.
Jeez. And look what he finished with. Accumulate Wisdom in hand
I know,
2
he's just
for next
kind
turn.
of got it all going here. Wow.
Shaun just scooped him up. That's game 1 going to Akira Shibata.
That's it. I bet Shaun was thinking, you know what, I'm basically just hoping that my Ral lives and gets there, but wow. I guess he just had absolutely nothing going here with Akira and his entire engine going online. I mean, that still looked a little bit early for a concession, a little bit surprising given that we are in the semis of the World Championship. But, Shaun is probably pretty familiar with this matchup and recognized, you know what, I'm going to save my brain power here, going to be on the play here, and try to win the 3 of the next 4 games.
Is there any chance it was like a frustration? Like, that was an unlikely sequence to happen there. You kind of have to assume, I have an Otter, I have a Ral on 5, my opponent can't target it, I'm probably going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
and then when you realize, okay, that's not actually the case, is it kind of like, well, let's just go to the next game?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you kind of look at that, Akira probably has a 95% chance of winning the game from that spot, but you still have that 5% maybe, right?
I mean, we saw what happened in our opening quarterfinal, where Ken Yukihiro hung in there and almost, I mean, seriously, almost won a game 3. He ended up losing it, and that was the sweep for Seth, but it didn't look good at any point during that game, and it was that close.
We do get to see a stock up here along with Badger Mole Cub, so Shaun, of course, packing a ton of powerful cards here as well. Looking for a land number 4 here, if possible, to run out. Ral Crackling Wit now has a backup copy here, but actually unable to find land number 4 here. But of course does have the other Badger Moral Cub in hand. So if that lives, which almost never does in this matchup, you would be able to generate a decent amount of mana. And here Akira, as you can see, he's got Firebending Lesson, he's got Accumulate Wisdom, and he's got Monument Endurance in hand. He kind of has everything going again. And Shaun needs to put some pressure going here. And look, heads up play here from Akira.
Extreme
Firing off Firebending Lesson here, just so Shaun doesn't have access to mana number 4 to play a Ral Crackling Wit this turn.
Really smart from Akira there.
Okay, trigger. Okay.
Into a Thunder Trap Trainer, maybe?
Thunder Trap Trainer.
Okay.
So Shaun Henry still not slowing down, using up all the mana for the turn.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good board, right?
Storm Chaser's top.
3 creatures in play. Found a bunch of cards off of stock up here. And there is pressure on Akira to kind of deal with at least the Badger Mole Cub.
Shaun passes the turn back over to Akira. If you're just tuning in, we're in the first semifinal. This is a best 3 out of 5 match, so we haven't actually hit sideboards yet, even though Akira Shibata's up 1-0.
And look at this. Accumulate Wisdom, Artist Talent trigger on the stack, get lesson number 3 into the graveyard, so you draw the full 3 cards off the Wisdom here. Has a couple of interactive spells here available, Torch to Tower and Combustion Technique. Can also just run out the Grand this turn if you wanted to cast something like in Iroh's demonstration anyways.
4 damage.
All right, actually choosing to save it and try to pick a spot maybe in a future turn, just so that the Grand is not vulnerable to a removal spell from Shaun Henry's side.
So Shaun has to put another Badger Mole Cub in the graveyard, but is left with 4 lands on the battlefield.
Yeah, Shaun just wants to hit land drops, can't collect the evidence actually here.
So this is just going to be a basic land.
Right, maybe a forest here to cast Enduring Vitality. Because you could go Enduring Vitality plus Storm Chaser's Talent this turn. That does put a fair amount of pressure on Akira, kind of forces him to have Combustion Technique, which of course he does. Next turn can go Grand, 1-mana Combustion Technique. Can even go Grand, Monument to Endurance, and Combustion Technique because we have enough lessons in the graveyard for the cost reduction effect of Grand. Can also just run out Ral Crackling Wit still for 4 mana with no board in play, right?
Vitality.
Okay, he's going to go for Enduring Vitality.
All right, so huge board from Shaun, but still Akira sitting at 20 life, giving him plenty of time. In his hand is 3 removal spells and the combo here. Combo being Artist Talent and Monument to Endurance.
Trigger.
Oh, but Shaun says, trigger on the stack. I've got Torch the Tower here for your Grand.
So you don't get the cost reduction aspect of this. Now, remember, Akira still has Combustion Technique. Grand is in play. You can cast the Combustion Technique here in response to the Torch to Tower, but of course, you wouldn't get the Rummage effect to trigger the Monument to Endurance.
So you're not going to get that card back, most likely, or maybe a treasure or something.
Yeah, but Akira just...
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely doesn't want Enduring Vitality to stay in play because that gives the threat of a potential combo kill here from Shaun Henry's side.
And once again, exiled. But as you mentioned, he still gets the Rummage effect from... Yeah, this goes in the graveyard. From Artist Talent. It's just he doesn't get the payoff from the Monument for doing so.
Wow, discarding a second Monument there. Definitely not.
Oh, he got rid of a Monument.
Yeah, didn't. You know, I mean, 1 is probably good enough at this point. You're not, Akira's not in danger of decking, right? And
this is a
pre-boarded game, so there's not a lot of ways to kill artifacts once it's resolved. So actually taking the 2 damage here, keeping up Torch to Tower. If you use the Torch to Tower, you do get that Rummage effect, you get that card back, and you can deal with a problematic threat on the other side. Akira wondering, hey, should I just fire off this Torch to Tower on your Otter token? Just so that I don't die, but I mean, you're at 18 life. Maybe you can wait.
He's going to upkeep hit the land.
Okay. Okay, that is a mana source again. It does slow down Shaun. It actually is going to be very good here because Shaun does have 2 Ral Crackling Wits. If he doesn't draw an untapped land, he can't play it this turn. Oh, no, excuse me. He did have a land. Okay.
And so it looks like he gets to deploy one of the Rals right now.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's going to be enough here.
Make an auto. Combat.
He's going to make an Otter.
Hit for 3.
3.
Good.
Okay, now Akira doesn't have any spells in hand here, actually. Needs to find something. Oh, and draws another land. So off of...
This is the first time we've covered this, that this deck has ran out of gas.
Right, because he rummaged off the Artist Talent and also drew off of Monument Endurance and drew land. So now Shaun might actually have an opportunity here.
So he's just going to level up the Artist Talent and
well, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Wow, Shaun's got to be happy to see this.
Okay.
So now Akira is just desperate to find and accumulate wisdom and just go off.
Yeah, Shaun is now digging here. Maybe he can actually find a way to close out the game on this turn.
Draw 3, discard 2 is the -3 ability from Ral.
If you can get Enduring Vitality plus Valley Flood Caller going, that can represent tons of mana and tons of damage.
Akira's looking at that graveyard chock full of lessons.
Okay, 2 spells in the graveyard. Can't be a good feeling here. There is an Enduring Vitality. But there's also Boomerang Basics and Storm Chaser's Talent here.
Okay. Mono. Do we have, where's the other? Oh, right, we have those. Sure.
Using those to denote how much mana Shaun will have with that Enduring Vitality.
1 green, 2 blue. Okay. Where's the 2? No.
Is this tapping all the creatures? Okay.
Spend green.
Okay.
Oh wait, I don't have that in my hand. Never mind. Am I allowed to undo the mana tapping?
I think you are.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything with it, and should.
Am I allowed to undo tapping these for mana since I haven't cast any cards yet?
Usually you are for mana tapping.
Right.
It's not allowed for spells, generally speaking.
Yeah. Because he hasn't cast anything.
Right.
It's the same thing if you just play.
Like if you tap your lands and then you go actually.
You untap. Yeah.
Have you gained any information? You gained any information from your opponent?
No.
What I can sort of suspect from what's here?
He's completely tapped out.
Yeah.
So unless you didn't say like that's a terrible plan or something like that. No. Okay. Then yeah, I believe you should be able to.
Okay.
Reverse that decision.
Cool. Thank you.
Let's make sure
Yeah, he got a little ahead of himself
Right.
there, thinking there was something he could cast, but he's like, oh, I don't actually have that in my hand.
I think Shaun thought he had perhaps analyzed the pollen or something.
Sure.
or something along those lines here. So there is an Enduring Vitality in play, but nothing quite to do with it just yet. And actually a red mana might have wanted to keep up a blue here so that you can go Boomerang Basics. But yeah, actually Shaun now looking to try to slow down Akira and trigger Prowess and get some damage through here.
Yeah, get a counter on Ral. Get another one on Ral.
Okay, so that's a trigger, one Prowess trigger here. So we got some 2/2 otters in play currently.
Six.
Oh, excuse me,
They're-
Prowess trigger. Boomerang Basics. Yeah,
Boomerang
yeah.
Basics. Yep, so that's 6. Hey, they're down to 7.
Yeah, not lethal here. Really great board. Akira needs a really, really good turn here. And did find abandoned attachments. So
Hey, that's one of the best ones.
Artist talent, but remember, no cost reduction effect
Right.
just yet, so it has to pay a little more mana here, but you're going to be looking at a lot of extra cards here. This is 4 extra cards, I believe, because you get the Rummage from the Artist talent, you get the extra card from the Monument, and 2 additional cards here off the abandoned attachments. Iroh's Demonstration would be an awesome draw here. If you're Akira, you can deal 1 damage to all your opponent's creatures, which means you would only take 4 damage from the Enduring Vitality plus the Thundertrap Trainer. But I don't see a red spell in Akira's hand here. Does have some interaction going. There is a Boomerang Basics, a Storm Chaser's Talent.
That's probably enough to keep him alive for a turn, right?
But Shaun has access to a ton of mana next turn. Remember, also he's got the Storm Chaser's Talents in play as well.
Right.
That he can use to get additional spells back from the graveyard here.
Right, Boomerang Basics, whatever.
Yeah, that one turn where he drew 3 straight lands. I mean, this is a deck that only has 21 or 22 lands. It's so unlikely.
We haven't seen that happen yet.
No, once players get this going, they basically have the problem of, oh, I drew too many cards.
Exactly. We start counting libraries at some point.
Akira definitely digging here for some interaction. There is something there. A Roaring Furnace. There's also a Storm Chaser's Talent. You can crack the treasure here to basically put a second chump blocker in play, but I don't think that's going to be good enough here from Akira's side. If you play a second chump blocker, I mean, there's 3 Otter tokens with Prowess in play.
Yeah, Akira's just passed the turn back to Shaun, and it looks like he's got an Upkeep Opt.
Yeah, we're
That'll
gonna
get him a card off of the Monument.
And he's going to be looking for like a Firebending Lesson or something here. Might make a treasure.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Off the Monument. And he finds a Firebending Lesson.
Wow.
Okay. That helps. I still think this might not be enough. Because even if you lose one of the Otter tokens, if you just get Akira's Otter token off the battlefield, that triggers Prowess off the other 2 remaining Otters that live. That's a lethal attack.
So even this might not be enough.
Right.
Shaun says, But he doesn't have any more mana available.
Right.
He used up the treasure for the turn, so
Right. Now
he can
drawing
draw all the
extra
cards he wants, but Shaun just says you can't do anything beyond this.
And Shaun just literally needs to cast something.
2 spells, and one of them has to get the Otter out of the way.
Right, and he's digging with the Ral too, and he found a Torture Tower, so that should lock it up here.
Called 2.
Shaun Henry on the verge of equalizing, and he just needs one more spell here, and then Akira's going to say, okay, you got it.
Oh, this is a 2.
Oh, it's a 3/3, so he actually needs to play. Well, he also has a Song of Totentans, which you can just play for $1 million here, too.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many ways to get the job done here. That's right. There was actually 2 triggers there.
Yep.
And there's the song, and that is going to do it. Game number 2 goes to Shaun Henry. So our players split the 2 pre-sideboard games, and we're going to go to a more traditional best 2 out of 3 match, but all the games are going to be with sideboards involved.
Yeah, and of course the matchup should shift a lot here because presumably Shaun will have some extra answers here to answer, Artist Talent, Monument to Endurance. Those are cards that most people just don't have answers to in game 1. But after sideboard, you have access to some more counter magic. You actually see the Annul there in Shaun Henry's hand, which is a really, really excellent card. There's literally at least 12 targets that I can think of, right? 4 copies of Storm Chaser's Talent, 4 copies of Artist Talent, and 4 copies of Monument to Endurance here. And as you can see, Shaun Henry with that Annul in the sideboard also negate a very, very strong card in the matchup. And even 3 copies of Paw Patch Formation. That's really good. That's really big. That allows you to kill enchantments. So that's 3 cards in the sideboard that you can bring in to get the problematic Artist Talent off the battlefield.
Okay, Akira using abandoned attachments to augment his hand. Land number 3 hits the battlefield, and then he just passes the turn back. So far, nothing from Shaun outside of land drops.
Yeah, noting Akira also bringing in a null, really clean answer to Enduring Vitality, and also Storm Chaser's Talent, and it'll quench it.
And Shaun's out of land drops?
Shaun looks like he's out of land drop, so this is a tough spot here. Akira on 4 mana and is just going to slam Ral Crackling Wit. And again, that's just a really, really hard permanent to take care of in this spot.
He did find Stomping Ground off the top, though, did Shaun Henry.
That is big, and he has a backup Badger Mole Cub here, so he could play that and get something going. Badger Mole Cub, target a land, and then play a Storm Chaser's Talent, possibly.
I am sad.
So now Shaun has to kind of decide, do I want to keep up a null, or do I want to be aggressive? And I feel like aggression is kind of what you need to be looking to do here, especially when you're facing off against a Ral Crackling Wit. So Akira with an untapped Ral Crackling Wit can actually just choose to dig if he wants, or just continue pumping out otter tokens here. And is that already an accumulated wisdom for 3?
Actually, yes, it is.
Sure
in fact, every card in the graveyard is now a lesson.
Oh my goodness. All right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're already firing that off as a 2-mana draw 3 effect with the Ral, ticking that up. I mean, there is even a world potentially, if you just feel like you don't need to draw extra cards, can get to the emblem there on Ral, right?
Minus 10?
It's very high, but this deck casts lots of spells.
Yeah.
Hey, it starts giving your spells Storm, and that can get pretty out of hand.
It is minus 10. Draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. And if you don't know what that is, consider yourself lucky, because it means you haven't been on the bad end of this card. That is
Right.
a beating. That would be absolutely absurd if Akira was able to do that, because this deck feels like a Storm deck anyway.
Storm
with the cost reduction. And
Storm out and accumulate wisdom for what? A storm count 3?
Yeah, that might be flying too close
It
to
might
the
be
sun.
too much.
Right? A little too much. But I mean, Ral's at 8.
Right? Yeah,
Like, that could happen now.
absolutely it can. Akira going to start things off here with Artist Talent here. Shaun Henry does have access to a null. Has to choose between a null or running out that Valley Flood Caller end of turn, and looks like he's more interested in trying to run out and resolve the Valley Flood Caller here. Shaun, again, still stuck on 3 mana here. I think he's just dead.
He's scooping him up right
again.
now, and that was, by the way, Ral going up to 10, and that is another convincing victory from Akira Shibata, 2 games to 1 above Shaun Henry. We could be 1 game away from having our first finalist here.
I mean, if you just kind of take a look at how these cards line up, it just feels really, really tough here for the Teamer Otters list. I mean, if you think about what even happened in Shaun's win, I feel like Akira just got a little bit unlucky there too. It looked like he was on the verge of turning things around and stabilizing, and just completely whiffed on spells.
Yeah, you broke down this matchup for us, Paul, at the beginning of the match here, and I got to say it's played out exactly how you described it. It just feels like it's difficult for Shaun to stick anything on the battlefield that really matters and also disrupt what Akira's doing, where on the other side, it feels like Akira has been able to enact his game plan pretty consistently while also disrupting Shaun's. That is a gnarly combo. A lot of times you have to choose.
Right.
Do I want to develop my own game plan, or do I want to try to stop yours? And Akira seems to have the best of both worlds in this matchup.
Yeah, the thing is, this deck just you can just play this deck with such a low mana curve, right? I mean, it's just such an efficient deck with so many efficient spells. Even your threat, you know, your threat that can potentially end the game is a 2-mana enchantment in Artist Talent. You play that, and then everything else is a removal spell, and you're playing against a deck that's, you know, essentially a creature combo deck. And, you know, how are you supposed to stick your creatures? How are you supposed to outvalue a card that plays 4 copies of Accumulate Wisdom and the ability to get it back from the graveyard?
Exactly, and then all those burn spells. So many good targets for them.
Okay.
You know,
Shaun's going to go with a second trainer.
right, and Thundertrap Trainer, great card, but doesn't put a ton of pressure here, so Akira's not really concerned. I feel like one of Shaun's main paths to victory, along with any other version of these blue-red base decks, is you want to get a quick start with Storm Chaser's talent, Boomerang Basics it, get some prowess triggers, and hope to win that way. Playing this long game against Is It Lessons, we've kind of just seen what happens, right? The Is It Lessons deck at some point gets 3 lessons in the graveyard, finds a Grand, gets an Accumulate Wisdom. It just happens every single time.
Very consistent deck. I was shocked that Akira wasn't able to go off. And the funny part was that was a 1-turn window, and then Akira completely went nuts the next turn.
Right.
Drew 6 cards, ended up not quite getting across the finish line. Is that Bushwhack?
That is a Bushwhack. Oh, and look, Akira actually had a Fire Magic in hand, didn't run it out on his turn. And now maybe just runs it out for only 1. Keeping up a counterspell here, presumably. You know, you would think you would want to do it for 2 damage to wipe out the board. And if Shaun actually had an instant there, he could have actually kept this creature alive.
Yeah, Akira just choosing to ignore the Thundertrap trainers as creatures.
Right.
I mean, they don't have prowess, like they don't do that much, but that would have been tempting.
Right. And now by playing the Fire Magic here and discarding an Iroh's Demonstration, you know, if you can resolve an Idle Quencha and discard one of the Accumulate Wisdoms, all of a sudden you're on 3 lessons in your graveyard.
Straight away. Yeah, this is a somewhat face-up Idle Quencha, though, from Akira Shibata. Shaun Henry is going to have to play as if Akira has it, because he gave up real on-board loss here to keep that option available.
Now, Shaun can play around it if he just chooses to play Ghost Vacuum. Oh, but goes for Stock Up.
And that's a perfectly good target for Idle Quencha.
Absolutely,
and there it is, Accumulate Wisdom in the graveyard, as well as Idle Quencha. That is the 3rd lesson.
Now Akira has 2 really strong options, right? Do you just slam Ral Crackling Wit, or would you like to draw 3 cards? Excuse me, discard 1, draw 4.
Well, we know what kind of player Akira Shibata is.
It's a pretty,
Give me those cards.
Yeah, very, very little pressure here. Akira doesn't draw any interaction, but has abandoned attachments here, so can continue digging with that artist talent in play. Yeah, this
so far leaving these Otters on the battlefield has proven really good for Akira, because that turn sequence at the end of the turn, nabbing the stock up, was huge.
Absolutely.
These Thundertrap trainers, yes, they are chipping away slowly, but Akira knows an avalanche of cards can clean up that mess anytime.
Absolutely.
Prowess Otters, those are real threats.
Yeah, but 1-power creatures that don't grow, that's not as big of a threat.
Analyze the pollen now for Shaun.
Shaun just continuing to try to hit all the land drops. There are, I believe, 4 basics in the deck, so should still have something to fetch here.
Yeah, Analyze the Pollen only searches up basics, but if you
collect some evidence.
Yeah, if you collect evidence, then you can get a creature or any land.
Right.
Very flexible utility spell.
Yeah, especially if you're, you know, playing cards like a singleton Cavern of Souls, that could actually be very, very relevant.
And this is Boomerang Basics.
Okay, well, there you go. Now we're going to get a prowess token here, possibly.
And replay.
All right, so now this is a lot of pressure. Akira would love to draw a sweeper here, if possible. Cards like Pyroclasm or Fire Magic is going to be looking at 3 cards here with this abandoned attachment.
So many looks.
I believe that was a combustion technique in Akira's hand.
Okay, that's a start, but...
Yeah. Now he also has the mana to tick up the artist talent if he likes, play a Storm Chaser's talent and a combustion technique. Several strong options here for Akira. Does he want to tick it up? Chooses not to tick up the artist talent here.
Just going to start setting up the combo. You get a card off of it, too. That was, of course, with the monument on the stack.
Storm Chaser's talent. Okay, sure. This does get you more looks, but if your plan was to play, for example, Monument plus
what is it getting off the
technique,
Monument here?
Yeah. I guess he has to decide here. Could go with Treasure, right? You did find a Grand here as well.
Yep, Treasure. Make an order.
So that mode has been chosen.
Cool. On top. Okay. Up here.
And yeah, Akira does have access to that combustion technique at instant speed. And next turn could be an incredible one here for Akira because you get to run out Gran and then start deploying all of those cheap spells for 1 mana.
You see 2 copies of Song of Totentanz in hand here for Shaun.
No bargain.
Yeah, and
But this isn't one of those big mana situations.
and you can't really fight this if you're on Akira's side, right?
Right.
You can play a combustion technique, and then I suppose make a treasure and try to find another spell. Okay, so casting a Torch to Tower on the Otter in response. And then can choose to decide, and given that he doesn't have a... Oh, that's a firebending lesson here as well. So might actually make a treasure. Nope, just lets it die. You could have made a treasure, cast firebending lesson, and then activate the prowess once again.
Yeah, I felt like did he have a land and a treasure as well? I feel like we have an artist talent.
He did have 2 mana, but yeah.
So I thought maybe there was a mana floating or something, but
Right.
perhaps I missed something there.
Just
In the meantime, it's still this army of 1/2s.
Yeah, and the Ghost Vacuum seems a little bit slow here, but this is a lot of
There's a
damage.
song. Yeah, this is adding up quickly.
Is this a song for 4?
And he can back-to-back song.
Yeah, so Akira on the back foot needs to find...
One card.
one card, yeah.
And having the Ghost Vacuum in play means that Storm Chaser's talent can't get back a Fire Magic or anything like that. But, so Akira might really be on the lookout here for something like an Iroh's technique,
That
right?
would clean up.
Iroh's demonstration,
2 of them would be really nice. But
right?
wow.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Akira is set up for the long game, no doubt about it, but does need to do something about this pesky board state. It's been enough turns that these trainers have just been chipping away.
Now you have to think he's going to find something. He's going to be looking at so many cards this turn.
It's interesting. We go all the way back to that early turn with the Idolquentia. You know, that seemed to set him up beautifully,
Right.
but that was kind of assuming he'd find a way to deal with these trainers, and he has not.
Okay, so draw and treasure here.
One of these.
Finds another fire. Hey, look. Usually just using a firebending lesson on a token isn't that great. That's not really where you love being. But if you're drawing an extra card off of it, you're not really spending anything to do so, right? Yep.
So he's just starting to chip away at this board 1 card at a time.
I suppose so. And now this is a drain here now.
Lose treasure.
15.
Okay. Oh, and treasure still available, sure. Because he cast one of the monuments this turn.
Right.
So now that last monument, now everything's been used except for one more drain effect on one of the monuments. And Akira has 2 firebending lessons here as well. So what happens here if Shaun Henry just tries to run out Song of Totentanz here for 5, right? Because then we're looking at an attack with 9 creatures, which is not enough.
That's not enough.
That
There's
is
a Gran
technically
Gran.
not a lethal attack here. There's a Gran and 2 firebending lessons in Akira's hand, and Akira is so set up here to basically completely turn things around if he survives this turn, right?
Right.
We have 2 Monumental Endurances in play with the Gran and an Artist Talent. He's basically going to have the ability to basically draw his entire deck. I mean, if you think about it, Shaun Henry's at 15. He can go, hey, if I survive this turn,
Enduring Vitality.
3, 6, 9, 12. Get in for
yeah,
3.
I deal 6 damage this turn.
Yep.
Deal 6 damage to you on my turn, and then on your upkeep, I deal more damage to finish you
Absolutely.
off.
So this is just a matter, more or less, of Akira Shibata surviving this exact turn, and that does seem to be something he's able to do. He is still seeing a bunch of cards now with the monuments.
Right, 2 triggers here from the monument. Akira can now choose after finding some cards. Has a combustion technique. What do you choose?
I mean, this really does kind of explain,
Yeah.
and that is going to do
Oh
it.
my
Akira
gosh.
Shibata finds a seat in the finals of the World Championship off of a regional championship qualification, hoping to day 2 the Pro Tour, and next thing you know, you find yourself in the finals.
I mean, an absolutely incredible run. And you know, I didn't sense Honestly, I didn't sense any nerves there from Akira, right?
Akira's a cool customer.
He was just playing that deck so methodically, not even necessarily making the most obvious lines for, some of us that have less experience with that deck. You're thinking, hey, I could just kill everything, right? Instead going, no, I know exactly how I need to sequence my deck. He played that entire match beautifully. And
looked very comfortable.
Yeah, and now you're thinking, well, I mean, when you see him go up against some of these fantastic players, you go, oh, maybe he's going to have a little tough time. But based on what I'm seeing, he's proving that he belongs.
Absolutely. And boy, did he choose the right deck tonight, this weekend as well. The breakout deck of the weekend, Is It Lessons? Let's hear something from Akira Shibata. He's with Riley right now.
Akira Shibata has found his way to the final of the World Championship. Akira, talk to us about that match. How did it go for you? How did you feel after the victory?
はい、決勝進出おめでとうございます。この試合はどうでしたか？うまくプレーできましたか？どう思いますか？
対戦相手の敵が、ティムール・カワウソだったんですけど、基本的には有利なマッチアップなんですけど、今の対戦相手はメインボードにラルが2枚入っていたので、普通のリストより厳しいマッチアップになると思って、ゲームをしました。ただ、何度かうまいことやれて勝てたのでよかったと思います。
Yeah, Timur Otters, I think, is a slightly advantageous matchup for me, but in his main board, he had two Ralgas, which made it a little bit more rough. But in the end of the day, the deck turned out great, and I was able to play well, and hey, now I'm in the finals.
Now you are in the finals. Let's talk about this. A huge moment, a huge opportunity. You're one match away from a world championship. What does that mean to you? Did you think this might be something that would have happened this weekend?
はい、もうであと1勝でもう世界チャンピオンということでもう素晴らしい機会ですし、もうどうでしたか？この週末入ってくるとき、ここまでうまくプレーできると思っていましたか？
ここに来た時の目標は2日目への進出だったので、もうトップ8に入って2回勝てたっていう時点でもう夢のようなんですけど、最後のゲーム楽しみたいと思ってます。
My goal was just coming in for day 2, so already I made day 2 and then I made top 8, so unbelievable. But I won 2 matches. I'm in the finals, just can't believe it. But you know what? I'm not going to stress out too much. I'm just going to have fun in these finals.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations once again. The very best of luck in the final.
おめでとうございます。Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, Akira's a cool customer and is going to be waiting for the winner of Seth Manfield versus Derek Davis, our other semifinal match. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be at the news desk to set up for that. Don't go anywhere.